For me, there's a simple rule in politics. Never, ever be surprised by what happens in politics.
The face of truth is open. The eyes of truth are bright. The lips of truth are ever closed. The head of truth is upright. The breast of truth stands forward. The gaze of truth is straight. Truth has neither fear nor doubt. Truth has patience to wait. The words of truth are touching. The voice of truth is deep. The law of truth is simple. All you sow, you reap. The soul of truth is flaming. The heart of truth is warm. The mind of truth is clear and firm through rain and storm. Facts are only its shadow. Truth stands above all sin. Great be the battle of life. Truth in the end shall win. The image of truth is the cross. Wisdom's message is its rod. The sign of truth is Christ, and the soul of truth is God. Life of truth is eternal. Immortal is its past. Power of truth shall endure. Truth shall hold to the last.
I don't have to tell you things are bad. Everybody knows things are bad. It's a depression. Everybody's out of work or scared of losing their job. The dollar buys a nickel's worth. Banks are going bust. Shopkeepers keep a gun under the counter. Punks are running wild in the street, and there's nobody anywhere who seems to know what to do, and there's no end to it. We know the air is unfit to breathe, and our food is unfit to eat. We sit watching our TVs while some local newscaster tells us that today we had 15 homicides and 63 violent crimes, as if that's the way it's supposed to be. We know things are bad, worse than bad. They're crazy. It's like everything everywhere is going crazy, so we don't go out anymore. We sit in the house, and slowly the world we're living in is getting smaller, and all we say is, please, at least leave us alone in our living room. Let me have my toaster and my TV and my steel-belted radios, and I won't say anything. Just leave us alone. Well, I'm not going to leave you alone. I want you to get mad. I don't want you to protest. I don't want you to riot. I don't want you to write to your congressman because I wouldn't know what to tell you to write. I don't know what to do about the depression and the inflation and the Russians and the crying in the street. All I know is that first, you've got to get mad. You've got to say, I'm a human being. God damn it. My life has value.
During the course of the program, we'll hear from the island's Deputy Prime Minister, Dr. Ernest Hilaire, who convened a press conference earlier on today. A politician says, I will not be intimidated. And also coming up, more concerns, more complaints about the island's water problems. Hello, everyone. Welcome to another edition of the world's most monitored talk show, NewsSpin. Is on Power 97.9 FM. The broadcast is also on the NewsSpin Facebook page, as well as NewsSpin is on YouTube. And don't forget, as always, subscribe. And what you can also do is to share, like the video, subscribe to the YouTube channel, and click the notification bell. And that is to help the channel grow. We go up until 2 o'clock this afternoon. In a moment, your calls at 452-2979. WhatsApp calls and messages 716-2026. What is NewsSpin without your calls? And also, what is NewsSpin without Amanda and her updates as a result of going through some of your comments in the chat room on Facebook as well as on YouTube? We have a lot to discuss. We have a lot to focus on. There's a matter that is currently before the courts. And it is also being played out before the public. So, the 4th of December apparently is just too far before that matter can appear before a magistrate. I'm referring there to that incident which occurred in the Parliament building on the 19th of August 2025. When you first heard about it on NewsSpin, when reporter Eldris Charles called the broadcast and claimed that she was pushed by Deputy Prime Minister Dr. Ernest Hilaire. Later, we had a denial by Dr. Ernest Hilaire And of course, you heard the famous statement that was made by the Speaker of the House of Assembly, Mr. Claudius Francis. And we fast forward to the last few days when on Monday of this week, Eldris called this broadcast and said that she had been given a summons to attend a court hearing. Likewise, the minister in question that is scheduled for the 4th of December. Well, this morning, Dr. Ernest Hilaire convened a press conference. And before he took questions from reporters, he issued a statement. And we will play that statement right now in its entirety.
Fresh off Alan Shastney's humiliating loss at the CCJ, the UWP is up to its old tricks and is once again trying to take St. Lucians for fools. We have another false allegation, another waste of precious time and resources in our judicial system, another attempt to damage our nation for selfish goals. Let's look at the facts. Video evidence shows nothing like what has been alleged. I did not push anyone out of the Parliament building. Upon request, I attended an interview with Inspector George Clark at the Criminal Investigation Department. I knew Inspector Clark from an earlier encounter in 2021, to which I will return. His opening remarks to me betrayed that he had made up his mind on the allegation, so much so that, one, he started by stating to me that he had reason to believe I had committed an assault, and two, that he had arranged an identification procedure, even before having any conversation with me, with Miss Charles to identify me. Notwithstanding my objections, Inspector Clark explained that he was following procedures and would be preparing a file for onward submission for a decision to be made on any action to be taken. An interview was conducted. The complainant identified me as the person who pushed her out of the Parliament building. Let us return to the officer who investigated and charged me. He is none other than Inspector Clark, who it is alleged to be a known UWP operative. My first encounter with him was in 2021 elections, when he tried to stop an SLP meeting in Ancillary, and I stood up to him. I accused him then of being a UWP operative. I'm reliably informed that he wants to bet that I would lose my seat in the last general elections. Curiously, only days before he charged me, the same investigating officer was in a public place and embroiled in a heated argument with others about me. He may not have known that these individuals knew me very well, or probably he could not care less. It would be interesting when he appears in court for the inspector to answer a few questions. Who did he forward the case file to? The commissioner? The DPP? And if the DPP, did he forward it through the office of the commissioner? Did he forward the file to any senior officer who advised him to press charges? If not, what was the response given to him by any senior officer that he consulted? Or was he on a frolic of his own? As it relates to Eldridge Charles, the alleged complainant, I have said before to you, the media, that if she had indicated that she felt offended by my words or actions, whatever they were, I would have easily apologized. I have always enjoyed a cordial rapport with Eldridge and had no reason to believe that she would have issues with my interaction with her. She never once complained to me of any hurt in any form to herself. Yet with the known sentiment that elections are near, she makes a criminal complaint that I pushed her out of the Parliament building. But tell me, How many people do you know call NewsSpin to first engage in political commentary, then announce they had received a summons for a court case? Please tell me. How many people make media rounds to announce and/or attempt to try their case in the court of public opinion? If my actions were so wrong and she was offended by what she claimed happened and wanted redress, why not reach out to me? Why not pursue a civil case so she can get compensation? Why pursue a criminal case? Simply put, this is a political matter with a political purpose. There are so many cases that the police are investigating and yet to charge anyone. But in this case, in less than 2 months, Inspector Clark has completed all his investigations, charged, and even gotten a court date. It is sad when the public expects the police to focus on serious matters affecting St. Lucians and not waste time and resources on unfounded and politically motivated allegations. These resources will be far better spent addressing serious crimes and improving public safety for all St. Lucians. Every hour spent chasing this baseless political drama is an hour not spent serving St. Lucians. Be that as it may, I am satisfied that from the beginning of this matter, there has been no political interference or intimidation in the proceedings from my side. We are proud of the relationship this government has with law enforcement in St. Lucia, and we believe that no one is above the law. The process has proceeded on the basis that the St. Lucia Police Force should be a professional body with officers who, despite their political persuasions, will not act as political operatives. It is what I expect, we all expect, as citizens from the Commissioner, the High Command, and the rank and file of the police force. Individuals are entitled to and will always have their political views, but no individual should seek to use the power of the position that they have to abuse law and order for partisan political purposes. Beyond wasting police resources, these accusations are an attempt to deceive and manipulate the St. Lucian people. The UWA seems to believe that voters can be easily taken for fools. They are wrong. St. Lucians can tell the difference between leadership and performance. These reckless actions are a fickle attempt to distract from the real challenges St. Lucia faces, from the progress that we've made from economic recovery and job creation to ensuring safety for communities and improving public services, and more so, from the inability of the opposition to present themselves as a viable option for leadership. We will not be dragged into theatrics. This government remains focused on delivering for the people, lowering costs, improving services, and creating opportunities, while others waste time on political theater and misinformation. PR stunts won't lower prices or improve public services. It won't create jobs. It won't increase pensions. It won't improve healthcare or provide more scholarships. We are focused on doing our work, and we will let institutions do theirs. I will fight this latest saga with all the legal might that I have. I am fully conscious that it is politically motivated, time to embarrass and distract the government and the St. Lucia Labour Party. It is the continuation of the obsession to get Ernest Hilaire at all costs. I will fight on, and I will win.
There from Deputy Prime Minister Dr. Ernest Hilaire issued a statement during a press conference earlier today in that matter involving himself and also reporter Eldris Charles. Let's hear from Ms. Charles, who called NewsSpin on Monday of this week, and during that exchange I had with her, she revealed that the minister indeed had been charged.
Ever since this incident happened 2 months ago.
Between yourself and the Deputy Prime Minister?
And the Deputy Prime Minister. Mm-hmm. And let's be clear, I was simply standing there. I had spoken to Minister Emma Hippolyte And I was simply standing there awaiting the conclusion of the Prime Minister's interview in the doorway so that I could leave the building and get my camera person and come back. And the Deputy Prime Minister approached me. I honestly didn't realize he was in the building. I didn't see where he came from. And he assaulted me verbally and physically. Now, I went to the police, which is what law-abiding citizens do when these situations arise. There's been so much talk in the public sphere. I've been called a liar. I've been called an opportunist. Just last evening, somebody took it upon themselves to come and on social media and call me a money-hungry, and I will not use the other words because this is, of course, public broadcasting. But you get the gist of it.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel, before I talk about how I feel, I really need to thank certain individuals, a lot of them, who, and I know they listen to your show religiously, who offered me support and who stood by me in all of this. And I want to say a heartfelt thank you. These individuals know themselves. Also, I want to say that the matter, there's been a development in the matter. Mr. Hilaire has been officially charged via summons to appear as a defendant. I myself have received a summons to appear as a witness in a case of unlawful assault. So for those of you who thought that this matter will never go forward, there is a development, and this clearly shows that I did not make a false claim. I did not lie on the minister. I went to the police and I gave a statement, and the matter was thoroughly investigated. And based on what the police discovered in their investigation, a charge has been preferred. I don't.
And
I
you are set. The matter is scheduled for when?
December 4th.
December the 4th. Okay. Mm-hmm.
Yes, we're scheduled to appear in the First District Court on the Thursday, the 4th of December, and hopefully, it is not one of these cases where there are so many delays, and you know how it is, Tim. Yeah. Every time there's a adjournment and adjournment and adjournment, I really, really need this thing to be over and done with, because the cyberbullying needs to stop. The being stopped in the street and accused of things that I have never done. And the worst part is people who actually know me and know that I would never do something like that I'm a person of integrity, would question me, family members, everybody. Why would you do something like that? And the thing is, Tim, could you imagine that I am the bad guy for standing up for my rights? I am the bad guy. I am the one who did something wrong.
You just heard there from reporter Eldris Charles, who called this broadcast on Monday of this week. In just a bit, I'll be opening the lines at 452-2979 to take your calls. Of course, WhatsApp calls and messages 716-2026. And standing by is Amanda. She's already going through your comments in the chat room, and she'll be providing us with some updates. The Deputy Prime Minister said many things that do not make sense. But before that, let me say that I wish that this did not take that particular turn. Because there's some things that could happen out of misunderstanding, miscommunication, and those things can be settled amicably in most instances. The minister, as far as I'm aware, is no criminal. The reporter in question, as far as I'm aware, is a decent individual. So On that basis, I believed that this could have been settled behind closed doors. But we have an event that is before us, a situation that we have to deal with. The Deputy Prime Minister said that the Inspector Clerk, asking the question whether the inspector had taken this particular case to anyone, the Superior, the Commissioner of Police, or the Director of Public Prosecutions. As far as I'm aware, this is a summary matter. It's a matter that is scheduled to be heard by a magistrate. And in such instances, an investigating officer need not take such an issue to a higher authority, such as the DPP, seek the intervention of the police commissioner, etc. You have conducted your due diligence, you have evidence, you move forward with your case. About Inspector Clerk being an operative of any political party that has absolutely should have no bearing on the case. And if he is a professional, clearly that should not in any way at all influence his work. A professional is a professional, irrespective of whether they are a supporter of one party or the other. And most people in St. Lucia are supporters of political parties in this country, and they have to earn a living. So the professionalism would always come into question. But the proof of the pudding is in the eating. The Deputy Prime Minister also said that why not file a civil case so he could be compensated as opposed to criminal charges? Well, if Ms. Charles had taken the matter to the civil courts, what would have been said? She's hungry for money. So damn if you do, damn if you don't. If you take it, in this case, it's a criminal matter. You want to get to the minister, you want to embarrass him. If it is a civil matter, then you just want money. But anyway, so many people are calling the broadcast right now. I think you want to have your say on this issue. 452-2979, your WhatsApp calls and messages, 716-2026. Once again, 716-2026. And let us see if we have any of your calls. Okay, this person has been calling for a while from the diaspora. Hello, good afternoon. This is NewsSpin, you're on the air.
Good afternoon, Tim. Good afternoon, Amanda.
Yes, ma'am.
Everyone.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, caller.
Tim, I have a question to ask, okay? I heard the Deputy Prime Minister say in his statement that the police officer who went ahead with the investigations, now this police officer is a supporter of the United Workers' Party.
He did not say supporter. He said an operative.
An operative, yes. Okay. So isn't Ernest Hille an operative of the St. Lucia Labour Party?
Yeah,
is it Ernest Hille's job to have anybody escorted out of the house? Is it his job? Is it his job to physically put his hands on anybody without their permission? I listened to him very carefully, and he said something. He said that had Miss Charles came to him and let him know that she was unhappy, he would have went ahead and apologized. So basically, it's in my opinion that what the minister is saying is that if she went ahead and she said to him that she was unhappy, he would have apologized. So to me, he's actually admitting that he was wrong. So I have a few questions I want to know from the minister. Are you admitting that you are wrong? Is it your job to have anybody removed from the house? Is it fair that you put your hands on another human being without their permission? Because the last time I checked, it is assault to put your hands on somebody's person without their permission. Are you there, Tim?
Yes, ma'am, I'm there and I'm listening.
Oh, okay. Yes. So I am just puzzled as to why the members of the St. Lucia Labour Party feel like it's okay to be disrespectful to other human beings, to allegedly assault other human beings, and feel like it's okay, and they come out being self-righteous when they do stuff to other human beings, which hurts them or puts them in any physical distress. This young lady has been attacked by people in the public. People have called her a money-hungry person. And right now, he's saying if she came to him, he would have well, he didn't say he would have compensated her, but he said that she could have came and lodged a civil complaint and gotten compensated. Wouldn't Miss Charles have been accused of a money-hungry person seeking compensation for something which did not happen? I don't see where this would have went if she went for a civil, if she had taken this as a civil matter. It's not a civil matter, Ernest Hilaire, because you put your hands on her person, and that is illegal. And I think, and it is also of my opinion, that statement he made, it was just disrespectful, not only to Ms. Charles, but to everybody in the public. You are a minister and you cannot abuse your authority. That is an abuse of authority to come out and put out a statement like that. You are having a dispute with somebody who is a member of the public, a member of the press. You as the minister should take the higher ground, make a public apology to Ms. Charles, and stop that nonsense that you're doing, Ernest Hilaire. Thank you, Tim.
Okay, ma'am. Thank you so much for calling. Somebody is calling from the diaspora. 452-2979. WhatsApp calls and messages 716-2026. We have another call via WhatsApp. Good afternoon. You're on the air.
Good afternoon, Timothy.
Yes,
How
sir.
are you?
I'm okay. Good afternoon to you.
Good afternoon, Amanda.
Good afternoon.
You know, I try not to call, but unfortunately, I had to call it this one because this fella, Ernest Hilaire, is really a sore, you know. For a man to come out and endanger a police officer, a minister of government who comes on the air and talk about a man who is an operative of the United Workers' Party. I want to ask Ernest Hilaire whether he would have preferred the man to be an operative of the St. Lucia Labour Party. I'm not saying the guy, I don't know the guy, Timothy. But when I hear a minister of government come and bring politics into an officer who is doing his duty as an officer of the law, you mean to tell me the minister of government is going to bring in the part that he's a UWP operative? So what would it have happened then, Mr. Hilaire, if it was a St. Lucia Labour Party operative? Would they have just squashed the case and let you off free? Is that what we expect from the St. Lucia Police Force? Is that what we really expect from the St. Lucia Police Force, so that we can go to the police officers cannot take judgment as their rightful duty as an officer? For him to bring politics into this? Good afternoon, Tim.
Good afternoon to you, sir. 452-2979. WhatsApp calls and messages 716-2026. Good afternoon to you. You are on the air. Please go ahead with your contribution, caller. Hello.
Hi.
Yes, sir.
Hi, Tim.
Good afternoon to you, sir.
Oh, my God. Tim, exactly what I said, I predicted on an early morning show today is exactly what I heard Ernest Hilaire say. And you know why I can't know that? I'm a guarded team. I just played with my crystal ball last night. When I got that WhatsApp message that the minister would be in a press conference. And I said to myself, boy, let me write that down. Tim, if I had written that on paper, I could have sent you a photo. And it's exactly what Ernest Hilaire said. Because you know, from my experience, Tim, I spent 35 and a half years in the force chasing undesirables, and people that come break the law. I ain't spend that time doing nothing, you know. Boy, I feeling so bad for the police. This is another assault on the police by the members of this government, Tim. Tim, let me tell you something. And I'm sure you have the memory. Let us go back a little down the road. When Mr. Chasney was prevented from leaving the house, something that Labour Party have done throughout their history, say all kind of things under their breath while they're going out, disrupt the court, the house. Philippe Pierre, Kenny Anthony, all of them were doing it. Every sitting in the house, they were walking out. When Mr. Chasney was detained by that female sergeant at arms, within a quick time, and I know the lady very well, within a quick time, she was replaced from as sergeant at arms. And she's somewhere down in the south of the island. Tim.
Yeah.
That matter to date, I am asking you that matter to date has not even gotten a date in the court. All right? Because that matter, they know that would be the nail in the coffin. So that matter will not see the light of day. Just think of that one. Here you have a sergeant of an inspector, probably acting, or whether he's confirmed, I don't know. But I know the gentleman very well. He's probably nearing his 40th year in the force, if not beyond that. A man of great reputation. You telling me a summary case of assault, unlawful assault, simple matter. That matter could have been in the court 7 weeks ago, Tim. I'm giving it 1 week. You see, if I was doing that matter finished in court already. That's a summary matter. Assault. I find it took a long time before. That's why I was watching that case with binoculars eyes, you know. But today, Mr. Hilaire would find that the officer hastily do the case because he's an operative. Exactly what I know the man would say, because he have done it before. Ernest Hilaire and the Labour Party people have done that before. I can mention a number of cases. Some of them are highly criminal matters involving members of the government. I won't say names, so don't get hot under the collar, Tim. My brother was investigating certain matters. One day, that will be said, you know. Probably not on your radio, but in public. Tim, that is not just, that's a mindset of the Labour Party. And they have the people hoodwinked. The people who supporting them are hoodwinked into thinking that they are victim when they are the perpetrators of this all the time. This is happening by Labour Party all the time. So today the police officer, anything that happens, and the police take action. The police would have been seen 2 weeks ago discussing whether it's number 1 or number 2 man in the Labour Party. And that would be a Koplo. If he's a doctor, he's a Zelev Flabo. That is a pattern of behavior that is inside the boyo of Labour Party people who are bent on just doing what they want and getting away with it. Boy, let me tell you, Tim, I'm feeling so sad. I am feeling so sad. And the police officers who are supporting Labour Party, I want to see what you all will do. Inspector Clark is a good man. I've known the man a long time. Doing his work, if absolute diligence, and you're telling me the man delay, the man take his time, make process. I telling you, if it was me, he'll convicted already. That case would have been done already, Tim. We wouldn't be talking about that again.
Maybe you would
After
be,
2 months.
maybe you would be so eager that you'd mess up the case.
No.
You'd be so eager to
I'll
convict
mess it
him
up.
that mess up the case.
Tim, I lost a case. I lost a case in court, you know. Find out about me. I ain't blowing. If nobody blowing my trumpet, I can blow it. I ain't lost a case in court, you know, yet. And I live already, so there is no chance of that happening. Tim, what I'm saying, it's not me. Huh? I'm talking about the police. What the police have been put through by Richard Frederick, Philip Pierre, Ernest Hillel, the customs matter. Every angle you look at this government, they have disrupted order in all areas. And they feel they deserve some kind of protection. The Speaker of the House too. Tim, I can say a lot, but I giving the police a chance to call. Those who are hiding, that's secretly supporting those fellas. I want the police officers, the retired ones admitting me and telling me how they are ashamed. I want them to call. So let Hillel bury himself further. Let Philippia bury themselves because the election will call a day. And I want to see those fellas, the behind the head, because they have to be running away from us. So it's behind the head alone we see. Thank you very much, Tim.
Okay, caller. Thank you so much. Somebody says there via WhatsApp. Tim, as a retired police officer who trained with Inspector George Clark, and I know him as a trained professional, I'm disappointed in Dr. Ernest Hillel for a personal attack on the police officer because he did not take his side on the matter. Dr. Hillel needs to apologize to the police officer and the police force by extension. Somebody also says they have noticed that any police officer who takes action by doing their job with integrity against any Labour Party person will be victimized and blackmailed for being an operative of the UWP. Good afternoon to you, Amanda. Let's find out what is happening in the chat room.
Good afternoon, Tim. Good afternoon, Spinners. Seen a few comments here via Facebook. Someone says, so how does a journalist reporting an incident become an attack by UWP against the Deputy Prime Minister? A commentary reads, so the police officer can't do his job without being tarnished. He's really full of himself. And NewsSpin says it doesn't matter who the inspector is. The point is that you did assault the young lady based on the video. You are not above the law. Someone says the attorney advising the minister should caution him on speaking openly about this case, especially if this will be a jury trial. Commentary reads, the man is judge, jury, and executioner. Someone says here, so you tried to lie your way out of this situation with the help of the speaker. When that did not work, now it's a UWP operative. A NewsSpinner says, so now the case is about the officer. Man, be quiet and own up to your actions. Another commentary says, well, that'll teach you to keep your hands to yourself. Someone says, really admit you made a mistake, apologize, and move on. So, you are wrong. The video is there to prove it. Commentary says, is Hillel above the law? Why is he always sounding like he's the victim? Hillel, you should take note of what happened to O.J. Simpson after he thought he was free by the courts. There is something called a natural justice. A NewsSpinner says here, had she pursued a civil case, your argument would be that she is seeking money. Another commentary says, rest assured this police officer will be targeted for being thorough in his job. Commentary reads, what does this have to do with Honorable Shas? Why can't he stick to the matter at hand? This has nothing to do with UWP or elections. Now Hillel knows what the resources can be spent on. Why doesn't he say what the CIP monies could have been spent on? Someone says, Team, in my opinion, if Miss Charles went for a civil case, she would probably be accused of looking for money. Nobody's above the law, and this should be a lesson to all who tries to abuse authority. And NewsSpinner says the speaker, acting like judge, jury, and executioner, was not a political move from your side. The audacity. Commentary says, you see this current crop of politicians who beat their chests, but before someone calls out their bad behavior, they beat their breasts and weep. Zero time for their antics. You decided to become a public figure. You can't only enjoy the spoils of public office and do not be willing to withstand the scrutiny. Get out of here. NewsSpin says, so in my opinion, this press conference was to manipulate his base. Commentary says, you should have taken time to also give us an update on the CIP, especially Galaxy. A NewsSpinner says, I love what's going on in St. Lucia today with the SLP. Wrong can be made right, and everything will be all right in the morning. Things that we accept here, nowhere in the wider world will it be accepted. The woman didn't ask you to touch her, so why should she tell you she felt offended for you to apologize? It's like you see a woman and you fondle her, and once a report is made and the case is filed, you are asking her why did she say that she was offended. Where in the world does this make sense? You thought you were a boss and you went out to make boss moves. Now you are caught, you are talking crap and wanted the woman to take the course of action you want. Man, move here. Commentary says, oh my god, how could he have made such a statement like that against the police and continue to call himself the government or sit in the cabinet of the country? This is unbelievable. The commentary says, absolute power corrupts absolutely. Someone says, I wonder how this issue would have turned out if it were the other way around. The commentary says, Ernest needs to grow up, stop being juvenile and creating so much drama queen. A few comments here via YouTube. It reads, everything is the opposition and not accountability. Anything you create division amongst the people. I do agree with what he is saying. She should have told him and taken it from there. Commentator says, what does any of this have to do with anything? Just apologize. You are cordial with her, so why not meet with her and put it to rest? Commentary says, everything for that minister is politics. Shake my head. Commentary reads, Tim, my service was poor yesterday, but today I am not missing out on what I know would be an interesting program today. Commentary says, wish you luck, lady. We all know that there is no justice in St. Lucia. Commentary says, it is sad the state of affairs in St. Lucia currently. Commentary values with reads, lady, I'm happy you stood your ground, and if the minister is deemed guilty, they should make an example of him. Commentary says, when lies can flow so freely for something so basic and verifiable, what should be expected about things more complex and serious? And the commentary values it reads, it is sad the things that come out of the mouth of persons who we expect to know better, yet seemingly common sense is not common anymore. Back to you, Tim.
Thank you so much. And somebody also says, St. Lucians don't realize that the SLP is not just a political party. They are a wealthy, well-designed organization. We have a call via WhatsApp. Hello, good afternoon to you. This is NewsSpin. You are on the air.
Oh, boy, Tim.
Good afternoon to you, sir.
Tim, allow me a little introduction here. I have written extensively on most of the issues in St. Lucia in the last 40 years. Sometimes I kept up the stories for 5 years as the story took different turns, etc., etc., etc. And I'm very proud of that. In fact, some people have complained my articles are too long. And I always respond by telling them, when you say my article is too long because it's 1 page or 2 pages long, what you have just confessed is you've never read a book. Because if you can't read 2 pages of important matter with detail of your own country, then you're telling me you never read a book. So I'm not going to waste my time talking to an unread person. All of those things in the course of my work, Tim. I give that introduction to say that in the scheme of things, I have written next to nothing other than straight reports, and which I probably didn't do, it's just reporters. I have written a relatively next to nothing about the confrontations between Alan Chasney and Ernest Hilaire. And the reason for that are personal, and I don't choose at the moment to discuss them. I say all of that because what I'm about to tell you has nothing to do with any personal feelings about any of the parties involved. I'm talking about the person from the radio station who was in your show recently. I'm talking about Ernest Hilaire himself, and I'm talking about Alan Chasney. Okay, and those what I'm saying, they can be verified. And this morning, Tim, I troll Facebook looking for particular people whose words have a certain erudition, or they try to comment fairly balanced and so on. So I follow those people. I don't respond to the other crap, which is 99.9% of Facebook, even though I get a chuckle out of it. And this morning, I came across what I'm about to read to you by a gentleman who often writes on Facebook, and he's a St. Lucian living overseas, and he's generally considered an erudite man and fair and balanced man, generally considered, although that's not necessarily so, and he's entitled not to be fair and balanced. You know, people are entitled to their political prejudices, no?
Yeah, yes, they do.
They're entitled to it.
Yeah.
So if you don't like it, then you can respond to the prejudice.
Mm-hmm.
But don't tell them they're prejudiced, just prove they're prejudiced. So let me begin by reading what the guy wrote in reference to the matter of the reporter and Ernest Hilaire. And I refrain from saying the MP for good reason against Ernest Hilaire. Because this is not a government case. It's a case relating to two people, to citizens, right?
Yes.
But the guy wrote, let's be honest. There was a time in St. Lucia. Now, that let's be honest. Well, I'll come back to it. Let's be honest. Pardon my dog, Jim. There was a time in St. Lucia when taking such an issue to court would have been unheard of. This is proof positive that the political climate in the country has become so toxic, it can have implications for the mental health of the country's inhabitants. All sides need to dial back and allow the people to speak after the prorogation of Parliament. You heard that clearly?
Yeah.
Now I'm going to analyze it. Let's be honest. I always get nervous when I read that, when a person is going to say something and they say, let's be honest, because it's suggesting they're not normally honest, or we are not normally honest, etc. So, but I read on. There was a time in St. Lucia when taking such an issue to court. He is referring to the matter of the reporter and Ernest Hilaire. When taking such, and I can use the words, there was a time in St. Lucia when taking such an issue, such as the Ernest Hilaire, whatever her name, matter to court, would have been unheard of. You hear that, Tim?
Unprecedented.
It would have been unheard of.
Mm-hmm.
And the agile mind will immediately see, why would it have been unheard of? Huh? Are you hearing me, Tim?
Yes, I'm hearing you, yes.
You want to suggest, do you agree with that statement, that it would have been unheard of, such an issue going to court would have been unheard of?
It would have. Because you're talking about the so-called ordinary citizen taking on a powerful individual, a politician. And also there is this impression, this feeling that you don't stand a chance before the courts in matters involving powerful people, prominent people, and politicians, and also the cost involved in taking matters before the courts. That certainly serves as an inhibiting factor. A kind of wavet devant pool mentality that we had.
I am in total Tim, agreement with you. So what you just said there, and the fact that a woman now can feel cool and okay going to court, no matter who it is, if that's the case, wouldn't that be something to brag about, Tim?
Yes, absolutely.
To say that we have moved on, we now have domestic violence, people are free to do that, women have rights, and it don't matter who raped them or who grabbed them by the pussy to quote the President of the United States, and all that kind of stuff, they have a right, whereas in the past they wouldn't dare, unheard of, go to court. That in our enlightened and progressive time, we can take it to court. Wouldn't that something to blow bugles about?
And it's a civilized thing to do, as Miss Charles said.
Good. But what the gentleman writes instead, he doesn't say any of that. That we have moved and we have progress, and thank goodness for that, that Miss Charles can take a case to the police and the courts. What he says to him is, this is proof positive. The fact that she can go to court. This is proof positive that the political climate in the country has become so toxic, it can have implications for the mental health of the country's inhabitants. That's one hell of a statement, because the suggestion in that statement is the lady is crazy. This is proof positive that the political climate in the country has become so toxic. The election climate in St. Lucia is so toxic, it can have implications for the mental health of the country's inhabitants. So is that suggesting that the atmosphere of the politics in the country is so toxic that it has driven, whatever her name is, I don't know the lady, Ms. Charles.
Eldridge Charles.
Driven her crazy, and that's the only reason she would take that matter to court, whereas in the past she wouldn't dare. Isn't that a normal? Because anybody who wants to give you a different side to that, I am open to hearing it. And here's what he says, how he closes it. All sides. What sides we talking about, Tim? There are just two people involved.
They have no sides in that matter, huh?
Right.
They ought to have no sides.
But you see, it goes on. All sides need to dial back. What does that mean, Tim? Drop the case? Cool out? Postpone things? I don't know what it means. All sides need to dial back and allow the people, what people are we talking about, Tim, to speak after the prorogation of Parliament. So, in other words, everybody should cool it until after elections. Of course, they use the wrong word there, prorogation. That should be something else. Just, what do you call it when you close Parliament?
Prorogue Parliament.
Eh?
Prorogue Parliament.
Sorry?
Prorogue.
No, it's not prorogue when it's coming to Parliament. When they announce the elections and Parliament stops, I forget the word for it, but it's not prorogate. In any event, he is saying that everybody should cool out until after the elections. What does elections have to do with an allegation of assault? What does the election have to do with there was a time when you never hear a case like that being brought to court? The suggestions in there are so ominous, Tim. Whereas it could have been in a positive light, that we have made such great progress in our country in the last few years, that any woman who feels she has been treated badly by anyone could seek justice in the courts without worrying about anything. But Tim, we know a number of cases where people have brought rape cases to court or assault cases to court and abandoned the case because of all kinds of open political pressure. And I say open political pressure. Sometimes one person has 8 lawyers and the other person has none. Sometimes they only have one. And sometimes that one lawyer that this person has is advising her all the time, forget about that, it's going too far. You wouldn't be able to say. So very often, women who charge big shots with rape, the best advice their lawyer is giving them, Tim, let's forget about that. Let's just forget about that.
Yeah.
Or let's make it a little much more. Because the lawyer himself is worried that if he goes on with the case, the power of the politicians, and I carefully say, don't say the power of the people, because the people never gave the politicians the power to corrupt the system of justice. The people are not so crazy that they would give politicians the power to corrupt the justice system at the expense of justice to the people. So it is the politicians taking on their own a power that has never given to them. And there are big people in this sick society who will write what I just read you there, and which everybody can read on Facebook and probably agree with it, that there was a time when such cases, you know what they used to call these cases, them? To show you the contempt that people had back in the day. They used to call those cases chumama cases. You know?
Yeah.
When little people brought cases before the court, they were generally described as chumama cases, you know. A waste of time. But even today, we know that people are still scared to hell to put people in court, depending on the stature in the society. Number one, the people going up against have money, and they have lawyers lining up to give free service because so many of those damn lawyers are corrupt with political ambitions, Tim.
And those lawyers will be compensated down the road. They would be compensated with government,
heavily compensated
with government work. But the word, apart from proroguing Parliament, the other word he was looking for was to dissolve Parliament, Rick.
Dissolve is the correct word. Prorogue is the wrong word.
No, it's one of the same. Anyway, that's all.
I'm not so sure, but we won't. Let's go to the more important matter. That the guy is suggesting that the political climate is such, and it has driven the country's inhabitants crazy, and that might be the reason this young woman is taking her case to court in an unheard of. It would have been an unheard of situation in the old days. That's bad. If that was not bad enough, Tim, you have the Speaker of the House also has a long piece. And again, I am saying I am not being personal. If I want to be personal on the cases of the confrontations, rather, not just the court cases. If I wanted to express my views, personal views, on the confrontations involving Alan Chasney and Hilaire, I could have. I have chosen not to for a lot of reasons. Like I said, I'm repeating myself, a lot of personal reasons that I may or may not release at some time. But here you have the Speaker of the House, who is directly involved. He is directly involved in Miss Charles's case. He need not have been involved at all. But then he was making statements suggesting that he had reviewed the tape and nothing the woman claimed was on the tape. You remember that?
Yes.
Everybody remembers it.
Yeah.
And that when the police have checked it and found that what she says is not in harmony with what's on the tape, she will have to face charges. The Speaker of the House is directing somebody that in the event of this and that, charges will have to be faced by the woman. He doesn't say, and that's how interesting it is again, he doesn't say, I have reviewed the tape, I'm not going to make any comment, but after the police have dealt with the tape, they will make their decision as if we don't. He doesn't even have to say it, but if he wants to be talkative, he can say, after they've read the tape, I hope somebody's charged, meaning either Jonas Hilaire or the girl.
Because the speaker must always take on the role of an impartial person.
Well, we know that this particular speaker cannot. I don't believe he can. And that's why I think he's always been unfit for that job. He cannot be impartial. He's too involved. He's too involved personally. He's too involved politically. And worse than that, you could have all those personal feelings and keep them in your chest. He has made a point of blasting to the whole world what his political prejudice is. Has he not?
Obviously, yes.
Pardon me?
I said, obviously, he has, yes.
He has. And even suggested what he would do to people who attack his party and so on. That guy has rendered himself an possible candidate for Speaker of the House. So he writes today a long piece, a biography of how wonderful Ernest Hilaire is and everything else, which may well be true. You know, the things he says there. But here's the one that bothers me, having done the whole thing about the case, the recent case and so on. Here's how he ends it. And I'm saying he's entitled to say he knows Hilaire is a wonderful guy. Hilaire is a bright guy. He's entitled to say all of that. Although, in the circumstances, as Speaker of the House, if he wanted to show an even-handedness, he would shut his face, right?
Mm-hmm.
He ends his piece by saying, as you are once more in the crosshairs of what some may term politically motivated persecution, not prosecution.
Persecution.
Persecution.
Because Rick, when that matter appears before the magistrate, she ought not to look at this as a political issue, or he or she should not look at it as a political issue.
We have every reason.
Has nothing to do with UWP or SLP.
That's
has nothing
right.
to do. It doesn't even have anything to do with. It doesn't have anything to do with the track record of the individuals appearing before that individual.
Nothing.
We're starting with a blank slate, clean piece of paper in front of us. Deal with the evidence.
By the way, will dare write anything nice about Miss Charles.
Mm-hmm.
What has been so far written has been totally derogatory about her. I don't know the woman. I don't know if that's true. All of that is irrelevant, but it shows why our system is in trouble, why people don't trust the courts, why we hate politicians, because we do, even those of us who beg from them and get half a loaf, we hate them because they make us feel like shit. It's not nice you having to go and beg a guy who a few weeks ago was just an ordinary guy, even without a job, and now you find yourself in such dire straits you have to go and beg him for $10 or for half a loaf. Everybody has dignity, and when you have to do that, including the women who have to sacrifice their major dignity to those guys who are not the best-looking guys or best-dressed guys or smartest guys in the world, and the women have to sell their goodies to these guys for their children to survive, because that too has become the norm in this country. And I've been talking about this for the longest while, and we're not paying attention. The women in particular, today you might be okay. Tomorrow, your circumstances may change so radically that you can't go to the bank, you can't go to none, and you figure, well, I vote for this guy, so let me go and beg him. And the first thing this guy is going to want from you is a visit to your hairy bank, which has nothing in it, etc. These are hard, inconvenient truths in this country. So let me just read what the Speaker wrote this morning at the last paragraph. As you are once more in the crosshairs of what some may term politically motivated persecution, but which you see as just another vindication, that word again, of your steadfast commitment to your constituency and country, I wish you well. That is coming from the Speaker of the House on matters that have to do with the court. The Speaker of the House. Okay. You with me?
Yes, sir.
I got a feeling you're getting goose pimples.
No, I'm there. I'm following.
Where we have arrived. And finally, I want to say this. And this has no bearing on accusations, allegations, or even the individuals concerned. I would say I've said it before. In my case, actually, I've had cases where it has happened to me. The use of government trappings to pursue personal matters, that may be vendettas, that may be whatever it is. You are not supposed to use government trappings to pursue your personal goals. And so when the MP goes on television as the MP and reads out all this stuff about his court cases with Chasney, which don't belong in anything to do with the government. It has nothing to do with the government. Any MP who has a court case with another MP, that's their personal business. We can read about it in the press, but the government trappings should not be used. Press conferences or government a government business. The matter with Chasney and Hilaire are not government business. You will agree with me on that?
Yes, it has something to do to an extent with the government because you're talking about the customs department and so on. That's something to do with the government.
Central government.
The cases.
The heart of the cases is one thing. The bringing them to court is another, and how you're brought. Because there are times when things are brought there in your personal capacity and also as government. But even then, ideally, you should not be discussing those things at press conferences.
Yeah.
You with me? Or calling
yes,
or in the midst of a normal press conference.
Mm-hmm.
So all of those things are abuse of office, and whether it's Hilaire or anybody else, I'm not picking on him in particular, and I said it's done to me years ago. I had a parliamentary session called on my behalf, a session of parliament. So when I speak from having been in there with the bear. And we are going fast down the tube, Tim, when nothing is of consequence. We have destroyed every institution that was set up to make us a civilized people, where people have rights, where people can turn to seek justice. We have killed everything, including the very police themselves. I am reading now stories about the policeman who laid the charge. And all kinds of allegations about the police officer.
Because I think it was really unfair for the minister to make reference to that Inspector Clark. Because he has become a target by supporters of the St. Lucia Labour Party. Not only him, unfortunately, but his family as well will become a target.
That is not just unfair, that's illegal.
Yeah.
You can't do those things. And the policeman is, again, at the mercy of the government.
And unfortunately, don't expect the police commissioner to come forward and issue a statement.
Exactly.
But hopefully, he's hoping we hear from the Police Welfare Association.
I'll tell you something else.
Mm-hmm.
Few people in this country actually expect that case to be heard. And I want to say one thing again about the Hilaire matter and the customs guy.
1 minute.
Huh?
You have 1 minute.
Thank you, Tim.
Yeah, go ahead.
You know, the Justice piece and what the minister himself said on TV publicly was that from the moment he stepped into politics, certain people have been on his case and been persecuted, blah, blah, blah. Then if you read all the details that they are talking about, I, as a minister, I would not like people writing about that, because what it shows is from the moment you got into politics, you have been a controversial figure. And I would have taken the opportunity, rather than showing any kind of clemency or goodness to freak, what's his name, Chico, etc., I would have taken the opportunity once and for all to clear all those insidious allegations against myself, rather than mediate it in. And you had Chico saying, "I did not apologize," and you had Hilaire saying, "Yes, you did." I mean, if somebody apologized to me for having libeled me or whatever, and then they publicly stating, "I did not apologize," if that happened to you, what would you do, Tim? I think you would immediately
go back to the
your
courts.
case.
Yeah, go back to the courts. Yeah.
He did not do that. And all of those things cast shadows. And it's not personal. I am stating this. It casts shadows. You had an opportunity to have everything that has been said about you dealt with before a court of law. Instead, you block it because you love Chico, because you felt sorry for Chico. Those things don't make any kind of sense. And I'm very, very saddened about how everything in this country is falling apart. And everything just sounds like a rant, and people will go home and sleep until the next one. I thank you very much.
Thank you so much. You Rick Wynn fans, I gave him 26 minutes and a few seconds. You Rick Wynn the dejectors and the critics, well, I don't know how you'll feel about that. This is the most monitored talk show in the world. Wasco wishes to inform the public of planned maintenance on its raw water pipeline on Tuesday, November the 4th, 2025. During this period, water pressure and supply to customers from Millet to Cap Estate will be affected. Upon completion of these scheduled works, residents at higher elevations and at the end of the distribution line may experience additional delays as the network stabilizes. The public is therefore strongly advised to collect and conserve water where possible. Wasco apologizes to its valued customers for any inconvenience caused as they work towards infrastructure resilience and restoration of regular water supply. Look out for updates on Wasco's website and social media platforms. Stay with us.
KFC, yo, we back with the vibe. Strips and dip combo, flavor that rise. Free crispy strips, fries on the side. 16-ounce drink, sauce for the ride. Order for 25, deal so nice. Go down and crunchy, can't think twice. Barbecue, honey, mustard ranch if you wish. Dip it, dunk it, finger licking bliss. KFC, brand new flavor. Set the mood, strips and dip is back, finger licking good.
Lazarus's Funeral Home is here for you. Lazarus's Private Cemetery offers a peaceful resting place for your loved ones. With tranquil settings, visitation, and reflection, we believe in the compassionate care of all our departed loved ones. Lazarus's Private Cemetery, let us help you create a final resting place. Make it special. Make it Lazarus's Funeral Home, your friend in a time of need. Payment plans are available for tombs. Call us in Vidbute at 452-7491 or in New Dock Road, VA4, 454-6555.
Are you ready? Get set. Let's go green with New Select. No more paper, no more mess. Easy billing, no stress. Use my account to pay online. Pay your bill at any time. Get the stress off your mind. No more standing in line.
Visit LuCelect.com today and sign up to my account to pay your bill. Request a temporary or new connection or switch an account to your tenant's name. Do it all online.
Personal, paperless. Use the virtual service desk. Are you ready? Get set. Let's go green with LuCelect.
Chronic back pain, arthritis, spinal injuries, nerve disorders, even painful cramps. These conditions affect daily life, but you don't have to live with pain. Every day matters when it comes to your health. At La Clinique du Corps, we provide fast, accurate diagnosis with advanced GE-certified MRI technology and internationally recognized specialists. Our focus is safe, effective treatment that restores mobility, relieves pain, and gives you back your quality of life. Call 451-6559 today. 451-6559. La Clinique du Corps, because time is vital in health.
At First National Bank, we believe being first means putting you first. Your first home? We've got the mortgage. Starting your first business? Count on our commercial loans. Dreaming of your first car? Drive it home today. Heading to college? Let's fund that first big step with a student loan. No matter the milestone, make First National Bank your first choice for all your loan needs. First in service, first in trust, first for you. Call us at 455-7000 or visit your nearest First National Bank branch today so we can help put you first. First National Bank, here for you.
It's coming. The brunch of the century. Welcome to Sunburnt. It's coming. Sunburnt.
To have a strong structure, you must have a strong foundation. And at Caribbean Pastors Limited, we offer top quality aggregate materials at great prices. We supply high quality ready mix, cast in sand and plaster in sand. We also take special requests for specific materials that you may require for your building projects. Caribbean Pastors Limited is located in Bexon behind Essential Hardware. Give us a call at 489-0074. We're open from Monday to Saturday, 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. and Sundays 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. Caribbean Pastors Limited. Quality construction, our priority.
It's in the feeling in our we talk. It's in the meaning in our spot. It is the thing that sets us apart. Who we are. 'Cause the rhythm of life keeps pumping.
Every day, St. Lucian women give everything to their families, communities, and dreams. Yet breast cancer still claims too many lives. Now, St. Lucia is making history. For the first time, state-of-the-art 3D mammography is available right here at home. Donated by the World Bank through the Health Sector Support Program, these advanced machines are a major step forward in universal health coverage, and they're free. Women 40 and older or younger, if at risk, can access this life-saving service. Visit your local wellness center for a referral. Early detection saves lives. Free mammograms, universal coverage. Your wellness center is your first step.
The following is a paid political advertisement.
The government working in all sector. In all sector, the government working. Hello. The country running well, Michael. The PM doing good.
Of course, Emily is doing pretty well in Suffolk.
My children are grown, but my grandchildren is still benefiting from what the government is giving.
Everything good, cook and curry.
Lele politique a ouvert September. Il va être une cérémonie, une big ceremony. Moun sorti l'autre côté vini de cérémonie. C'est pas flambeau, amle bay on kabay flambeau le bay paten. Qui do le pour education, il pas ni flambeau et le bas.
Mr. Pierre have done a lot for us, for the children, the hospital.
Betterment for the youth.
The pensioners. I believe the little money that people are getting was too small, and by raising that was a great achievement by the Prime Minister and the government.
If you give a fisherman to build a house, you will get a boat. You see me? Because hear that. If you don't know my struggles, you don't know what I'm going through, how could you help me? How could you solve my problem and you don't know my struggles? And a man coming out and say he doesn't know what it is to put people first. How you want to be my Prime Minister and you don't know what it is to put people first, my brother? That making sense?
Having the Blackberry minibus drivers, the best drivers in Castries. We love him, Stevenson King. Patriots.
Look that we're building the waterfront. We have a road building on the other side of new development. So far so good.
Il a fait chiner, il a mangé, il a bay maman, il a vu toute maman l'école, education. To the household near university scholarship. Sean got from Shaiba and Valley.
Mais we took my l'école ni bénéfice, bon ni bénéfice. Even me, if I want to take my business into a next level, there are venues that I can go to and get a grant. And there are so many things that the government has done and is still doing.
I mean, naturally you could see the difference between what I was there and what is now present,
I can't wait.
I don't mind them. We put them down already. They know they're going to lose.
Well, honestly speaking, the government is doing very well. I'm proud of my Prime Minister and his Ministers of Cabinet.
For CXC, what do you want? This first fund, the teachers, preschool getting how much? This now, preschool now, free train now, education now. What you want again? What you want again?
This was a paid political advertisement.
This is the most monitored talk show in the world. We continue with your calls at 452-2979. WhatsApp calls and messages 716-2026, 716-2026. A politician says that he will not be intimidated. Let us hear from that individual right now.
My name is Marcel Astide. I'm the independent candidate for Castries North. I would like to use this opportunity to send a message to all politicians and both political parties. I will not be intimidated. I will not be harassed. Or you can harass me, but I will not be intimidated by any of your shenanigans. I believe people need to know what's going on in the country, whether it's UWP or Labour Party. And those of you that think you can intimidate me, you have another thing coming. I am a dashing leaf in the rain, and you can do whatever you want or say whatever you want about me. But I believe in the people of St. Lucia. I believe when people know the truth of what's going on, they will stand with me. My name is Marcella Steed, and I'm the independent candidate for Castries North.
452-2979, your WhatsApp calls and messages, 716-2026. Somebody says via WhatsApp, I was in Astoria at the time at that political meeting. It was past 11 p.m. when the inspector asked that it was time to stop the meeting. Dr. Hilaire refused. So he told them when he won the election, he will deal with him. While he's saying that no man is above the law, he had to set the example among his supporters. He should be relieved of his duties. Okay, let's see if we have another WhatsApp message. Somebody says there, this paid political advertisement is too long. It's taking from your show. Tim, you need to add 10 minutes on your show when you play this ad. Okay, let's see if we have a call on the line. In the meantime, let me go through our WhatsApp message. It says there, what ad are you playing there? You're not coming to your program, but are sending ads now on the... They're not coming to your program, but sending ads now on the most monitored talk show in the world. Let's see if you have a call via WhatsApp. Hello, good afternoon. NewsSpin, you on the air?
Talk show in the world.
Hello.
Hello.
Good afternoon to you, caller. You're on the air.
Good afternoon, Tim.
Yes, ma'am. Good afternoon to you.
I'm calling with an issue I have. I listened to that ad you played there, and there are many St. Lucians saying the Prime Minister, the government is doing good. But I just learned that the park they opened in Groselet, the recent park they call Simple Park or whatever park they named it,
yeah,
that they are charging the same supporters, they are charging them $1,500 a month to sell their things at that park. And even Simple, which is a great supporter, they are also charging him $1,500 a month. And plus, you have to pay 2 months in advance. Are these people really for them St. Lucians? Are these ministers are for St. Lucians? Kenson put a young girl on the list. She called Kenson Kazimi. Kenson tell her to call the Groselet Town Hall. She called, okay? The mayor is telling her she have to pay 2 months, okay, in advance, and she have to pay $1,500 a month. Are these politicians really for us, Tim? Are these people really for St. Lucians? These young people have to wake up. The youth of St. Lucia have to wake up. This government is not for them, and they're fooling themselves and they're lying. They are lying about their own selves. People are very, I don't know how to describe St. Lucians anymore. Okay, y'all are suffering in silence. The government is only for themselves or the ministers. And y'all are still lying, saying that they're supporting y'all. Y'all have to pay $1,500 to sell things in your own park in Groselet. Is that fair? Thank you, Tim.
Okay, ma'am.
Thanks for having me on your show.
You're welcome. Thank you so much for calling. Let's see if you have a call on the landline. But in the meantime, let me go through a WhatsApp message. So many reactions to this advertisement. This advertisement isn't going down well with me. That's according to a WhatsApp message. Let's see if we have some more of your comments to go through. Tim asked Rick Wayne to host a special episode of Talk Election 2025-2026. It will be one to watch, interesting and informative. We have a call. Good afternoon. You're on the air.
Hi, Tim. How are you doing?
Yes, ma'am. I'm okay. Good afternoon to you.
Good afternoon. I'm calling concerning the issue with Ernest Hilaire.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so my thing is, it's just quite unfortunate that this thing is happening around the same time that elections is on the horizon. And my reason for saying that is that the party hearts in St. Lucia, they need to just sit back and just observe what is happening in St. Lucia. It's not about your party. It's not about the politicians. It's simply about human beings dwelling in a society. And that is the type of attitude we need to have for St. Lucia to go forward. Too many people like to politicize everything in St. Lucia. Because another party will come in power, the same thing would happen, and it will continue along the same path. Simple thing, a gentleman places his hand on you without your permission. If that's what is being shown, then that's what has to be dealt with. We don't care what party he belongs to. We don't care what party the other person belongs to. But what we know is that somebody has violated somebody's rights, and that has to be dealt with. Too many people in St. Lucia, and we like to use our personal profile while we are at work to deal with persons. When you are representing somebody, especially at your workplace, especially when you are a minister of government and you are put to represent your people, your personal agenda has nothing to, your personal agenda cannot be played in this arena, because you are called on to do a specific task. So you have to fit that profile. Too many times we go places and people seem to carry their personal agenda to represent us and to represent the organization. And we St. Lucians need to put a stop to that. We need to have structures that are put in place to help protect persons, to help protect us St. Lucians. And that is where the laws come in. Because you cannot just run a government ministry. You cannot just run an organization that doesn't belong to you on your personal agenda. And that is the issue we have in every part of St. Lucia. Too many people carry their personal selves to work. And when it comes to women, we have had a series of events happening to women today, men disrespecting women. I mean, I don't want to sound like a woman rights advocate, but people must learn to respect each other. I can have a different opinion from you. It doesn't mean that you have the right to put your hand on me and to disrespect me. And we have to learn to teach men to respect women. It has been okay in the past, because we have seen a lot of instances in St. Lucia where men get away with disrespecting women. And if you are a minister and you have done something that seemed to be disrespecting a woman, I think you, with you apologizing, you being taken to task, is a way of saying to men and women likewise that we have to respect each other. You don't just come and have a political profile and think that you can behave in any manner that you can, any manner that you want, and we have to take it. We have to tolerate it because what you are a minister. Remember, you were elected. Remember, you have to represent. I'm not saying you have to be perfect, but you must have a profile to represent. You must have a kind of a unique. You must have a responsible profile to represent people of St. Lucia. And we, the people of St. Lucia, need to take off this political hack glasses that we're wearing. We need to call these people to task. Call them to pay attention to the things that we do. In our society, things need to be put in place to protect our people. Life cannot be made harder for people because you belong to a different party. Look now, somebody just called initially and spoke about the grocery park, the parking grocery. I mean, I am not sure if the information is concrete, but I'm just going to comment on it. Someone like Simple, who has been fighting so long to have a park in grocery. I mean, why would we want to charge the grocery residents $1,500 to use the park? I mean, according to what was said. Life, when you have political representation, it's supposed to make your life easier. That is what you have to do as a nation. You see what I cannot do for myself? When I elect you, you're supposed to help me. You're supposed to help me see it through. The politicians have it all wrong. I don't think we have put down their responsibilities for them. And that is what we have to do in St. Lucia. We have to list responsibilities for our ministers. Because if we don't, we are going to go around in a circle looking for perfect representation. And there's no perfect representation, but there's representation that is meaningful, representation that is considerate, and the representation that is needed in St. Lucia today. And what we're seeing today, that is not needed in St. Lucia. We are an intelligent nation. We need to call our people to read. I don't want to see on elections the people running behind party, running with the red shirt, running with the yellow shirt. Why are you running? Is it because they're putting some personal monies in your coffers? Is it because you are being paid? Would that take care of you in a few years from now? Why are you running behind the political trucks? Are they selling a difference for you? What are they doing for you? Not for you, for your community. Because remember, we live in a community. What affects me will affect you. What affects the lady down the road will affect you. So I want to call on the St. Lucians. Remove the political stains, the colors that you have. Please use this election to judge your ministers fairly. Read what they have put in place for you. Listen to what they're saying, and we question them. And if that is what if we start doing these things, then our ministers will be more responsible. They wouldn't be able to just, wave monies in our face and get us to vote for them. We have to come together like more concrete people who know what they want, and people who have a degree of intelligence. We say we have transcended, we are moving forward. We say that we are more intelligent today. We have technology. Are we really more intelligent today? Why are we getting this sort of representation? Why is the cabaway politics still running? Why? Why can't you come? Why are you going to buy me a drink and I'll vote for you? Is that what it's all about? No. It's about setting the example. Set the example, and we are going to work with you. Give us something concrete, and we are going to work with you. We're not doing that superficial election that you want us to do. We're not doing that. Okay, Tim? Have a wonderful day.
You too, ma'am. Thank you so much for your contribution. Amanda, what's happening in the chat room?
Tim, a few comments from earlier. Someone says there, the question is that why the speaker had to get involved in what happened. Commentator reads, the video is clearly AI. And NewsSpinner says there, Ernest is trying to do damage control. Every police officer supports a political party. So what if the officer is an operative of UWP? He's doing his job. Ernest, you will not get away with this one. Someone says there, Hila is used to his cases disappearing without being held accountable. The commentary reads, after listening to the tributes by Lady Janice Compton yesterday, I know our people have rewritten the story of Jesus Christ. We are wicked and grateful and hate ourselves, so it is impossible to love anyone else. We suffer from tall poly syndrome. There is no cure for the disease. Someone says here, my mother always used to tell me, when you are wrong, accept you're wrong, because sometimes you can try to defend your wrong and make things worse for you and all parties concerned. By Ernest's comments, he made himself, the government, his party, and the police look bad. A NewsSpinner says they're speaking like he doesn't know what an assault is. Like, really? Commentary, Stanley was fired shortly after being charged and before his case was heard. Will PJP do the same with Ernest? Someone says their SLP were almost successful in rewriting our island's political history, but thanks to Lady Compton, we have the truth. Our commentary says, this is scary what is happening in St. Lucia, so people of power can assault and abuse citizens and they do not want to be taken to task. If we give these people another term in office, St. Lucia will get worse, and those SLP supporters who believe that it will not reach them, you better think again. A NewsSpinner says normally SLP uses the fact that the case is before court to silence the public or to stop information on the matter. So why is this one an exemption for Hilaire? A commentary says this government injects parties and politics into every matter. Does he really believe the police should have let him off? The only reason he's in court now is because instead of admitting his wrongdoing, he chose to lie, and now that lie is catching up with him. A commentary says, Rick, you have it wrong. The person is saying is that because of politics we have developed so much hatred towards each other, we make an issue out of the most trivial matter. We need to go back to our friendly ways and be good to each other. Someone says the speaker should do what is just and right by vacating his seat. And NewsSpin says the speaker can be charged with obstruction of justice where someone wrongly tries to influence a case. It is called obstruction of justice, which can encompass actions like jury tampering, witness tampering, and tampering with evidence. It also can be referred to as undue influence when someone uses excessive persuasion to overcome another person's free will, particularly in situations like influencing a will or a contract. A few comments here via YouTube. Someone says here, I just wish we were given a thorough report on our CIP as Mr. Hiller did earlier on his court case. A commentator says, I believe this case will go to mediation. A NewsSpinner says it is sad that a police officer doing their work can be maligned by a sitting politician. Someone says where is justice, or rather the appearance of justice in St. Lucia? Commentator reads, everything in this country has gone to political ruins. The brotherhood is a real thing and they take care of their own. Commentator reads, justice must prevail. Someone says here, we need to protect the press and journalists at all costs. They are there to ask the questions on behalf of the people. The Speaker of the House was being a disgrace. He should have never been appointed. Commentator says, how can we have governance which is judge, jury, and executioner? Why bring up accusations from both parties but not make it tangle in courts? We need to make administrations accountable. And the commentary via YouTube reads, as a people, we have to denounce the minister for calling out the police officer just because he was doing his job. Back to you, Tim.
Thank you so much, Amanda, for that update. Somebody says there, Tim, do you know that many players in Carnival can't get their prizes paid? It is said they are waiting for money, but the players crying in silence. And let's see if we have another WhatsApp message. Somebody says there, hey, Tim, good afternoon. This current contribution by this lady should most definitely be at the reminder of this week, maybe a shortened version, though. And another one says via WhatsApp, the Speaker of the House needs to resign for judging a police case and for lying. This is the most monitored talk show in the world. Got travel plans? Don't let paperwork slow you down. The briefcase is making applications for passports and visas faster, easier, and stress-free. VA4 and Environs, they are here to serve you. Whether it's your first passport or renewal, let them do it for you. The briefcase also assists with applications for police records, U.S. visa applications, ETA for Canada and the UK, birth certificate and business registration, and more. This coming Saturday, the 25th of October, visit the briefcase upstairs Chanel's Plaza from 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. or call 718-8624 or 713-7503 to book. The briefcase, the main office located on High Street, Castries, opposite the Electoral Department. They are open Mondays to Fridays, 8:30 a.m. to 3 p.m. No lines, no hassle, no stress. Just expert help right when you need it. The briefcase, get everything in one place.
Ouais, messieurs, pas jodi moi la ka espérer plein bon glow. Si t'en la pani pressure. Moi ni tongue, moi ni glow, me money pressure. Ou savez ça moi besoin? A pomme. Ça c'est bêtise. Moi ka aller ko Europa. Yo ni toute pomme pour toute condition. Qui pour kay, qui pour business. Yo ni pli mer pour pomme penser ici. Yo ka ranger pomme aussi qui besoin service. Prendre pomme yo c'est Léo. Pomme ça c'est major. Ils bon tout bonnement. Tant si ten moi actuellement. Glow ka fante. Europa ni pomme glow Léo under pour les nerfs. Joange et gris. Visitez Europa ambassade Gozile. Les mots au téléphone 452-0763.
Essie, don't tell me that tire flat again. I just changed that tire.
Wait, what? You just changed that tire?
Well, I bought a used one because you didn't give me enough money.
Oh, I see. Well, you know what? Chivi's Tire Shop only carry brand new quality tires at affordable prices with free installation.
Hey, it seems you're working at Chivi's Tire Shop. How you know all that?
Come on, Brenda. The tire shop down the road from our home in the American Drywall Building.
Oh, yes. I forgot.
Well, you know what, Patrick? Let's go there right now. Take your wallet. Let's go.
Shivi Style Shop, located at the American Drywall Building, Vic Butey. Call or WhatsApp 584-5986. Shivi Style Shop. Pay less, drive more.
Lucilec aveti ou pour point précaution durant saison cyclone ça là. Mi un petit commission qui kaywen de ou protéger la vie ou ek propriétaire ou. Priez Lucilec avant ou trim et bien couper pied bois qui pouet ligne électrique. Veillez pour ligne courant électrique avant ou monter l'échelle. Fait assurer l'échelle, scaffold et bout d'outils ou ka servi pas venir moins qui 10 pieds hors ligne courant électrique. Pas jamais servi appliance et ben outils qui ka servi courant électrique. Des wall côté qui mouillé et ben en la pli. Ça c'était en commission hors Lucilec.
Tired of sky-high bills and a planet on the brink? It's time to go green without burning your pockets. At First National Bank, we are here to make saving the planet affordable. Whether you're installing solar panels, purchasing a water tank, upgrading to an inverter AC, or buying a hybrid vehicle, we've got the green to help you go green. Fast approval, low interest rates, and Mother Nature approved. Your future self will thank you. Visit firstnationalbankonline.com or call 455-7000 for more information to help you turn your green dreams into clean realities. First National Bank, here for you.
KFC, yo, we back with the vibe. Strips and dip combo, flavor that rise. Free crispy strips, fries on the side. 16-ounce drink, sauce for the ride. Order for 25, deal so nice. Go down and crunchy, can't think twice. Barbecue, honey, mustard ranch if you wish. Dip it, dunk it, finger licking bliss. KFC, brand new flavor. Set the mood, strips and dip is back, finger licking good.
Chronic back pain, arthritis, spinal injuries, nerve disorders, even painful cramps. These conditions affect daily life, but you don't have to live with pain. Every day matters when it comes to your health. At La Clinique du Corps, we provide fast, accurate diagnosis with advanced GE-certified MRI technology and internationally recognized specialists. Our focus is safe, effective treatment that restores mobility, relieves pain, and gives you back your quality of life. Call 451-6559 today. 451-6559. La Clinique du Corps, because time is vital in health.
Are you building, renovating, or just looking to add something to your property? Then look no further. The Block Factory has all your concrete product needs in stock. From 4-inch to 12-inch concrete blocks to high-quality concrete pavers at an affordable price. Whether your project is big or small, we're ready to serve you. Visit us today on the Cul-de-Sac Bextor Highway, right at the entrance of Farron, next to the Stone Surgeon. Top quality blocks await you. Call us at 720-6752. The Block Factory, building your future one block at a time.
Need branded apparel that looks sharp and shows up on time? Welcome to Imprinted Designs, where every stitch counts. We specialize in custom embroidery and t-shirt printing for businesses, teams, events, you name it. From embroidered logos on polished Oxford shirts, available in a variety of colors for men and women, to bold, high-quality printed tees that turn heads, we do it all. Bring your own shirts or choose from ours. Small runs, big orders, rush jobs, no problem. At Imprinted Designs, we're built for speed, efficiency, and clean professional results delivered on time, every time. So if you want your brand to stand out, not wait around, come down to Imprinted Designs at the Valmore Plaza or hit us up at 451-2920 or email address imprinteddesignsSLU@gmail.com. Imprinted Designs, where every stitch counts.
1, 2, 3.
Hello, St. Lucia. I am Ezodi from Machine, and I'm inviting all proud and patriotic St. Lucians to the St. Lucia Taiwan Partnership Trade Show happening at the Pavilion on Rodney Bay from the 7th to the 9th of November 2025. Let me tell you, the best and brightest entrepreneurs will showcase their talent and creativity, so you don't want to miss it. It's going to be a vibe. Hey, there'll be a cooking competition, karaoke, and a fashion show by Rafferty. On Friday, November 7th, yours truly, Ezra the Fun Machine, I'll be in the building performing live. And on Saturday and Sunday, entertainment will be provided by the Impulse Band. Come celebrate our brilliant entrepreneurs at the 18th St. Lucia Taiwan Partnership Trade Show, November 7th to the 9th. Opening time 10 a.m. to 7 p.m. daily at the Pavilion in Rodney Bay.
You asked for it and you got it. A quicker way to pay your bills online. It's fast, secure, and easy to use. No registration, no additional fees. Flow is now offering FastPay, an online service that allows you to settle your bills in less than 2 minutes. Need a receipt? FastPay will send it to your email immediately. Use FastPay now for convenience, safety, and efficiency at discoverflow.co/fastpay. Flow is keeping you connected.
The Creole rhythm never stops, and neither should the celebration. Join us for the Creole Brunch After Party at Sandals Grand St. Lucia Spa and Beach Resort on Sunday, November the 2nd from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. at our breathtaking Gardens Over the Water. Indulge in the very best of St. Lucian flavor and flair with authentic Creole cuisine prepared by our top chefs. Live entertainment, signature beverages, exciting door prices, and a keepsake 360 photo clip included in your all-inclusive package for just $150 per person. Come savor the taste, music, and magic of our culture. The perfect way to keep the Creole spirit alive after the Creole Week. Tickets are available right here at our Sandals Grand St. Lucia Beach Resort and Spa. Secure your spot today and keep the rhythm alive.
Most monitored talk show in the world. Imagine we had a long commercial break and somebody would say in the chat room that Tim had a diarrhea. That's not the case. We just had a long commercial break. Okay, what we'll do is at least take 1 or 2 calls, 2 maximum, and then we'll conclude the broadcast. We'll have our NewsSpin question of the day, as well as the NewsSpin news of the day. Don't forget this evening, 7 o'clock on DBS Television, the DBS News World, and at 8:30, News Maker Live. I don't know if you have any comments to go through, Amanda?
Tim, just a few from me here. A few comments here via Facebook. Someone says their news spinners are so intelligent, great contribution. Commentary reads, there is nothing such as more intelligent if that's the case. Today we wouldn't have that system that still works today. Someone says there, will PJP go to this hearing to see that justice is served? Commentary says, if the minister felt that the officer had done something wrong, why didn't he address it with the Commissioner of Police instead of going to cast aspersions about the officer? Commentary via YouTube, it says, why are these ministers acting like dictators? Ministers should know that the people are their bosses, not the other way around, full stop. Commentary via YouTube, it says, it's a sad state of affairs when so many people in this country are so ignorant and easily fooled.
We have a call via WhatsApp. Good afternoon, NewsSpin, you on the air?
Good afternoon, Tim. How are you doing?
I am okay, sir. Good afternoon to you, caller.
Tim, I have a question for you.
Mm-hmm.
I know you always play that ad, man, and honestly, I've spoken about that some time ago, but I have an issue with that ad.
Which ad?
Are we saying that? I'll tell you. Are we saying that? Are we saying that the passport office, the people there are not doing their job?
Let's put it this way: the briefcase, they are very creative. They are being innovative.
Tim,
they saw an opportunity. They took advantage of it. If you have an issue with the passport office, that's a totally different issue, sir. You get my point?
Tim,
Right now,
I
the briefcase
I believe you are.
right now the
I believe
briefcase
you
is
are an enabler there. You know,
no.
I
Right
believe you are
now, right now the briefcase is advertising with NewsSpin and Power FM. What do you expect me to say, caller? By the way, good afternoon. Hello to the folks at the briefcase.
Tim, anyways, let me leave that there.
Yes, sir.
Tim, let me just say something quick. I know time is against us. Tim, there's something I want to say to St. Lucians, and I know your platform is viewed and listened to by a lot of people. I would encourage a lot of our St. Lucians that is interested in buying a vehicle outside of St. Lucia. They should order the vehicle and put it on the name of the state, and when it gets here, take it out. And see what happens. You know, most of you guys, because I know not sometimes you would like to have a vehicle, and maybe because you know when you buy that vehicle plus custom fees and whatnot, the duty fees, it costs a lot more. So maybe I would encourage a lot of our people that are interested in buying vehicles, order a vehicle that way and just see what happens. See if you're lucky as some of us. The other thing is, Tim, I don't know, Tim. I think we some years we spoke about that, and when I say we coming in like a Haiti, you didn't like my assumption, Tim. But now I will rephrase my statement and say we're turning into anarchy, because when I look at it, is kings we have running this country. You know. When you listen to certain statements some of our ministers are making, you know, you wonder who has these powers, if it's the ministers or the people. I think we need to really revisit our thinking in this country, and I really admire the young lady you had a while ago. She made some really valid points, and I think a lot of people really need to take a good look at what she said, and look at yourself and see what you can bring to the table, Tim, because we really need something to happen quick in this country, or else we'll be lost, my friend. Have a wonderful day.
You too, sir. Thank you so much. Calling from the diaspora. We have a final call. Let's take it via the landline. Good afternoon. NewsSpin, you on the air.
Tim, good afternoon.
Yes, sir. Good afternoon to you, caller.
Okay, Tim, let me kind of divert from all the Unazile thing, and because everybody have seen the video with Unazile, and no matter what Unazile say, people have seen the video for themselves. But let me kind of touch what Malcolm said on Friday evening. Tim, Lady Compton Friday evening, Tim, okay, was speaking on the husband legacy. And what I understand or understood is that from 1961, the Labour Party has been like that. And everything that has to do with progress and beneficial to St. Lucia and St. Lucians are the things that St. Lucia people will enjoy. Labour Party has always fought against these things. And you know, the lady itemized maybe, let's say, half of what the husband did and what the husband went through with the supporters and the people of the Labour Party. Now, saying that, the only difference that Labour Party now have improved on is in the time past, the lady never said about corruption or the members of the Labour Party was corrupt. And right now, I believe they add to the wickedness corruption, which is another layer on wickedness.
Caller, let's try and be responsible. Just saying that somebody is corrupt, caller, given that connotation, I don't think it's irresponsible. I don't think it is fair as well. We are attaching that kind of label without any kind of evidence. We're doing that based on perception. And the same thing happened to Guy Joseph, happened to Alan Chasney, and it's now happening to this administration without anyone being arrested, anyone being charged, held accountable for the so-called acts of corruption.
Okay, Tim, let me ask you a question.
Yes, sir.
Tim, if there is a case pending against you, and like because of your powers that you refuse to go and stand before the courts, Tim, to answer your name, what does that say about you?
Well, there's no saying thing about me. It says something about the system, Colin. So we have a system in place so that people can be held accountable. No one is above the law. Let us ensure that the system works. That's what we need to focus on. The system that we have.
With all due respect, Tim, you know, I did not say call any name. I said the Labour Party here is corrupt, and I did not.
Well, the Labour Party is represented by individuals.
Okay.
Likewise, the UWP.
Okay. Well, I said lastly is that listening to Lady Compton on Friday night, or what I listened to today on Facebook, is that Labour Party has never, at no time in their existence, ever fought and do something worthwhile for St. Lucia and the people of St. Lucia. Thank you very much.
All right, thank you so much. And that address that was delivered by Lady Janice Compton, will be playing a lot of it during the course of this week. It was aired on HTS television earlier on this week. Just a few comments. Somebody says, Tim, the minister's comments about the officer being a known supporter of the UWP now helps us to understand why the Comptroller of Customs had to be charged or changed. And the person continues, Tim, as I heard this briefcase ad, I remembered the minister's ongoing investigation of the passport issues. Do you know whether the Minister for Home Affairs will give us a report on this matter before she demits office? And the person says, Tim, you're singing for your supper and not even reading my messages. So I've read your messages. The NewsSpin question of the day, it reads, what do you expect to come out of the Eldris Charles Dr. Hilaire matter? What do you expect will come out of the Eldris Charles Dr. Ernest Hilaire matter? The NewsSpin question of the day. And now we have the NewsSpin news of the day. It reads, UN experts say U.S. strikes against Venezuela in international waters amount to extrajudicial executions. UN experts say U.S. strikes against Venezuela in international waters amount to extrajudicial executions. That's a broadcast. Thank you so much for watching and listening to another edition of the world's most monitored talk show. Don't forget to like the video, share, subscribe to the YouTube channel, and click the notification bell to help the channel grow. My name is Timothy Poleon. Goodbye.